What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for a SmackDown review on April the 2nd, 2021. We are 8 nights away from Saturday's WrestleMania. It's here. It's finally here. The 2 nights in the entire year we are going to get a break from the Blunderdome and see actual fans in a WWE event. Not the bullshit screens. We're going to see actual fans. But we had to get through tonight first. As in the main event, Daniel Bryan takes on main event Jey Uso for the millionth time in a street fight. Plus, Edge airs his grievances on the title. Match being changed to a triple threat. And so much more. Then we start off with Edge. Edge comes out. He says, what happened last week at Fastlane, the chaos and mayhem didn't need to happen. Maybe it did. Maybe this was all inevitable and he was being naive, thinking he could travel through the road to WrestleMania with no speed bumps. I mean, seriously, Edge? I think over the last 10 years, there hasn't been one road to WrestleMania that has actually been a smooth ride. Better yet, no roadkill, because this is what Daniel Bryan has done by weaseling his way into the match. Edge goes on about Bryan and says he was so focused on Universal Champion Roman Reigns that he didn't even see Bryan coming. Goes on and says after Pierce's decision, Edge realized he got played. The ultimate opportunist getting played. Can you believe it? Edge had a lot of time to reflect this week, and he looked in the mirror and finally liked what he saw. The guy who comes out of the corner, biting and swinging, doing whatever it has to be when he's backed out in the corner. He looked in the mirror and he finally saw the rated R superstar. Edge uses the graphic. She says, put the graphic up there. Let's see this grand scheme of Adam Pearce. Wait, he says it's Adam Pearce's validation for his paycheck. Way to go, Adam. Edge doesn't think Edge, Reigns, Bryan, or Pearce understand the ramifications of what has been done. He admits he snapped after what happened at Fastlane. And last Friday, he finally woke up and says says that he has finally snapped. And obviously, he needed to. He goes on about being the man Reigns and Bryan aspire to be, a WWE Hall of Famer, the ultimate opportunist, and he's finally here once again, the rated R superstar. He stares ahead. Says last week when he held the cold steel chair and felt to crash into their bodies, it felt so good. He had both of them for the concerto dead to rights. He was so close. It felt so good. And if it will be close again, and when it does, he won't hesitate. Drops the mic, exits the ring. He steps to the ringside stairs at WrestleMania sign at the triple threat graphic as we go to Michael Cole and Corey Graves hyping up the street fight for later in the show. Now, I'm just going to be honest. Edge is just someone I really, really don't care about. The guy has been out of the ring on a regular basis since 2011, 10 years ago. I could totally care less. The two reasons that they put Daniel Bryan in this match. One, Edge is old. He looks old, he seems old, and Vince doesn't want old to be a part of WrestleMania. So Edge is Daniel Bryan get added, and we all knew that was going to happen. And because if Edge is winning the Universal Championship, which has probably not been decided, that idea will probably not be decided until the night of the pay-per-view. They don't want Edge beating Roman Reigns. Are you kidding me? If somebody is going to take a loss in this match and it's not going to be Roman Reigns, two things is going to happen. Three things. Either Roman's retaining over either one of these guys, which he should, or Edge is beating Daniel Bryan, or Daniel Bryan is beating Edge. Roman Reigns is not taking a pinfall in this match. Period. He's not going to tap. He's not going to do any of that shit. He's going in there and he's either walking out Universal Champion or Daniel Bryan's taking the pinfall, allowing Edge to win the championship and set up for matches between Roman Reigns and Edge going over the next few months or the next month or whatever for pay-per-views and all that stuff. We go to the ring for Otis. We come back from break. We go to Otis and the House of Academy. And Chad Gable talks about how he's improved Otis and turned him from a semi-truck to a natural disaster. It says tonight they're going to outshine their opponent, their tag team partners tonight in the 8-man tag match coming up. And next week, we will win the Raw SmackDown Tag Team Championships. When is that match going to happen, you may ask? Is it going to be at WrestleMania? You know, big fatal 4-way at WrestleMania? No. This match is happening on what they're calling WrestleMania SmackDown. Yes, WrestleMania SmackDown. I have one problem with this. It is not WrestleMania. You were only at WrestleMania, especially this year, when you're standing in Raymond James Stadium, walking down that aisle, coming for a match. But that is not what's happening to these 8 tag teams. They're going to be in a match on Friday, and you are supposed to be told and believe that this is part of WrestleMania. No. Just no. And I got a problem with this. And we'll talk about it later because some other tag team title match is going to be taking priority on WrestleMania over this SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Wow. So Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode come out, and the Street Profits of Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio all come out for this tag team match. Could I care less about this match? No. Is it building to a match next week? Of course it is. It's going to be that fatal 4-way tag team match. Which, honestly, in my opinion, all fatal 4-way tag team matches should be elimination. I'm just saying. Anyway. Alpha Academy gets the win, which, we need a spatula to get Montez Ford off the mat as Otis crushed him with a huge-ass top rope splash after a Chaos Theory from Chad Gable. Holy shit. You don't usually want to see a big man like Otis fly. But when he flies and you're on the mat taking a splash from him, we're going to need the spatula. Holy hell. Other than that, nothing really special about this match. It was just a generic 8-man tag team match. Alpha Academy gets the win for their team, and that is that. Sonya Deville and Anna Pierce are backstage. Paul Heyman brings up something from Reigns, an indemnification clause, a hold harmless agreement that strips Jey Uso for all liability in tonight's street fight against Daniel Bryan. Says the match tonight could shorten Bryan's career and impact the WrestleMania triple threat. Pierce says he should have expected this from Heyman, but DeVille interrupts and says Heyman made some really good points. He tends to agree, and he walks out the door. So, it is official that in this match later on tonight, it's a hold harmless agreement, which means that Jey Uso can do anything he wants, and it doesn't matter what happens. And then we see Carmella just working out backstage, getting herself ready for a match later in the night. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Reginald walk by. Reginald says something to Nia Jax in her ear. She looks at Carmella and says, "You didn't treat my man very well, did you?" Carmella's like, "Are you serious?" And they walk away. So we go to Natalya versus Shayna Baszler. Waste of fucking time. It lasted maybe 2 minutes. I swear, I got up from my chair, walked from my chair to my doorway, and the match was already over. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, Natalya gets a squash win by the way, Natalya squashed Shayna Baszler. One part of the women's tag team champions just got beat like that. Then, Jax comes in. She attacks Natalya. Tamina comes in. Riot Squad rush over. They take them out. In come, let's see here. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke from Raw. Then Lana and Naomi. Everybody's brawling. Everyone's fighting. Everybody's getting knocked around. And Lana and Naomi. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Tamina runs back in, stops them. Natalya runs in. They hit the heart attack. Champs and Reginald look on from the ramp as Natalya and Tamina stand tall over Lana and Naomi. Billie Kay approaches Carmella in the back now with an 8x10, but Carmella immediately dismisses her, then calls her back. And she's looking to team with Billie Kay. So, this is going to be at WrestleMania. I guarantee it. You're going to have in a battle royal or whatever you're gonna have with these women, you're gonna have like a multi-woman tag team match. All the women who aren't in the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship match getting a tag team title shot somehow. And this is going to be on WrestleMania. Yet you put the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on SmackDown instead of at WrestleMania. So you prioritize garbage over your men's tag team titles. The Women's Tag Team Championships have been a joke from day one. So from the way they presented them to how they are now, they have been nothing but garbage. I don't blame the women who hold them. And you know what's sad? 1 year ago, Shayna Baszler was gearing up for a Raw Women's Championship match against Becky Lynch. This year, jobbing to Natalya. Holy shit, how far she has fallen. It's just how bad it is. It's just how bad it is. And now you're going to have a clusterfuck of a women's tag team title match on at WrestleMania instead of just putting on SmackDown where it belongs. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the kickoff show match for night 2, because apparently night 1's not going to have a kickoff show because they want to make the first entrance in front of fans important. Please. Just so much garbage going on right now. Just so much garbage. You know what's funny? WWE has WrestleMania coming up next week, and they're not sold out yet. Gee, I wonder why. WWE backstage they actually expected, when it's been over a year, we haven't seen these two wrestle a match. They haven't seen fans in front of a crowd since March 11th, 2020. They expected fans who haven't been in front of a Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, well, a Raw, SmackDown crowd, or a pay-per-view crowd in over a year to just go out, rush out, and get them tickets to WrestleMania. Not happening. They are lucky they've sold as much as they have. WWE should be thanking the fact that they even have people who actually want to go to the show. They're lucky the people who want to go to the show. Now, of course, even though WrestleMania is going to have 25,000 fans each night, maybe, it's not going to feel the same because the ones who make WrestleMania, the WrestleMania crowd so special are from everywhere across the world. When you have people from Europe and England and Germany and all these other places like Australia all come in, those are who make the WrestleMania crowd special. And we're not going to have that this year, unfortunately. But I still find it funny how Vince McMahon thought that people were actually going to be running out there to get WrestleMania tickets and have it be a sold-out pay-per-view. Just wasn't happening. And then we have the Sami Zayn stuff. I really don't care. Kevin Owens hits him with a stunner, walks past Logan Paul, pushes him, get this Joker out of my ring, and that is that. I really, really don't fucking care about about Logan Paul. Edge walks on Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville in the back, says Pearce changing the Universal title match at WrestleMania was a big mistake, but the street fight between Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso is actually good, and he's letting them know he'll be there on commentary to watch this match. Carmella versus Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair gets the win. Nothing special here. Carmella's just... you think Carmella at one time was heading to WrestleMania, it felt like, for something big, and then she just became a sideshow piece. Of course, she's going to be at WrestleMania, because they're going to have a women's gauntlet tag team, or whatever the fuck they're going to do with the women's tag team belts. And Carmella will be one of them. Maybe they do something where they have a fatal 4-way on night 1 and a fatal 4-way on night 2. That would be awful, but you know what I mean. Either way, Bianca Belair gets the win. No way she should be losing going into WrestleMania. I'm just saying. After the match, she stands tall. SmackDown Women's Champion suddenly tries to attack from behind, but Belair counters and says, "Not today. We got WrestleMania next week, so not today." Banks smiles, heads out of the ring, raises the title in the air as Bianca Belair looks on. Back from break, the announcers hype WrestleMania 37 tickets. They are also hyped next week's SmackDown Fatal 4-Way. And the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is happening on Friday as well. Again, this is not WrestleMania. No matter how much they want to tell you, this is WrestleMania. It's not. You're not at Raymond James Stadium. You're not in front of 25,000 people. You're in a fucking empty arena with a bunch of perverts and shit watching you on a screen. That is it. And then, remember back in, I think it was like November or December, when WWE drug out the, what is it called? The brand-to-brand invitational, and we saw Baron Corbin come to Monday Night Raw to challenge a match against Drew McIntyre. Well, somebody in the back must have forgot that, because let's do it again, because on Monday, which has been taped apparently, we're going to have Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre is still, and Bobby Lashley still has the hit on Drew McIntyre. And Baron Corbin's hoping to go to Raw, take out Drew McIntyre, go to WrestleMania, and win the WWE Championship. How much pain would we be in? Then we go to Apollo Crews with his fake accent. Talks about his ancestors being disrespected by Intercontinental Champion Big E. He challenges him to a Nigerian gem fight. Stipulation: this is an ancient duel created by his ancestors for those who have been wrong, as a way to make things right. He says there will be no rules, no invitations, just beating so loud that it sounds like a beating of a drum. He goes on and wraps his promo up on the line about finally winning the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Who the fuck comes up with these damn names? A Nigerian drum fight. Holy wow, man. Yes, I'm going to check it. Is it a real thing? I don't think so. No, not a thing. I hate when they do these fucking names. We've had the Punjabi prison match. And now the Nigerian drum fight gets to join with this. We've had the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Miracle on 34th Street fight, the Nightmare on Elm Street fight. All these stupid fucking names. Just call it what it is. It's a no-holds-barred match, and we move on from there. Just giving it a different name doesn't do anything. Don't really care. Moving on. Following me backstage, apparently trying to stir the pot. We'll play mind games heading into WrestleMania. And then we go to our main event, Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan. This was brutal. Jey Uso, Daniel Bryan, as you figured, beat the holy hell out of each other. Just chair shots, Jey Uso brought out a chain, but then Daniel Bryan just snapped. And he grabs the chain, wraps it around his arm. He starts bludgeoning Jey Uso with the fucking chain. Wraps him in the yes lock, and eventually Jey Uso taps out. After the bell, Bryan stands tall. He immediately attacks Edge at the announce table. He unloads on him, sends him into the ring post several times. That didn't look pretty. Taking him down, Bryan looks up at Reigns in the stage. Bryan charges, but Reigns launches his chair, missing. Bryan moves. He lowers him with a flying knee, then tangles him up into the yes chain, applies the yes lock on top of the stage. Officials try to yank him up after a good bit. He's telling him to tap. Roman Reigns will not tap this time. And we see Edge and Roman Reigns recover as SmackDown goes off the air, and Daniel Bryan stands tall. That is your WrestleMania. That is your next to last show before WrestleMania. Nothing special. I really couldn't care less about half of this shit. Oh yeah, Cesaro. I don't know why I wasn't in there, but yeah, Cesaro and Seth Rollins had a good promo during the show too. But yeah, I really don't care about half of this shit. So we have So we have matches upon matches on matches going on at WrestleMania. Owens and Zayn should be pretty good. Seth Rollins and Cesaro should be pretty good. The women's tag team title is getting a prior over the men's is just bullshit. I'm sorry, I don't want to try and sound like a sexist or anything, or more power to women, but the women's titles suck. They have fucking sucked forever. And then this Logan Paul bullshit, having this dumb fuck stand there and do nothing, getting paid to come and just stand around looking like a fucking buffoon. No. Just no. Give me something that's actually worth my goddamn time. Now, Daniel Bryan snapping and beating the fuck out of his two opponents at WrestleMania, I'm fine with that. That looked pretty fucking good. That was actually probably one of the best parts of the night. He just sat there and beat the shit out of him. So, I'm good. Now, we have 2 episodes of TV left, Raw and SmackDown next week. Both apparently have been taped already. We'll know the full details of the women's tag team titles probably on Monday or Friday, whichever one it is. And then, of course, SmackDown next week, which is a WrestleMania SmackDown. Again, you're not at WrestleMania. You're not at Raymond James Stadium. You're still in Tropicana Field on a taped show. It's not WrestleMania. No matter how much they want to beat it into your head, it is not WrestleMania until Saturday next week. But that is your SmackDown review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. This show was pointless. Find me on Twitter, find me on Minds of the France Club, find me on twitch.tv/France Club, and find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I will see you guys on Monday for what will probably be one of the worst go-home shows in Monday Night Raw history. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.